Howdy knife fans. I got a cool one here for you tonight. This is a little cold steel Voyager. This is the Voyager clip point version, made in extra large size. They make two other smaller size knives than this. They make the large and the, I don't know, I guess the regular also. This has a 5.5 inch blade. And one thing about this one is this is a redesign of the old Voyager, and this is a pretty cool product line now. They've got the Voyager clip point, the Voyager Tanto point, and the Voyager Vaquero, I believe it's called. And the Vaquero has kind of an S-shaped blade on it. But anyhow, haven't got my cold steel catalog yet, so it's going to be a little more difficult. But this is part number 29TXC Voyager extra large clip point plain edge. And as most people have said before, this is a honkin' big knife. Comes with a extra pocket clip if you want to change it to left hand. And there she is. It's a pretty nice looking knife. There she is. It's got grivery handles. Yeah. And this has got adjustable pivot pin here. Whereas the old design had just a rivet through there. You could not adjust. You know, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see that metal has been smashed. You know what? You know what it reminds me of? Galvanized steel. That's the same way they do galvanized. I've seen boat docks made out of galvanized steel, and that's what they look like. They smash the metal like that. Helps keep them from rust. It's a lockback knife. It's the cold steel Voyager, extra large clip point. But this little knife, it's a pretty good. Mine doesn't snap open as some of them I've seen on the internet. You got to be careful with a knife like this too, trying to open it like that if it's not wanting to open, because if it snaps shut, if it only opens a little ways and then you flick it and it snaps shut back on your finger, you're probably going to lose the end of your finger. So if mine doesn't get better with a little use and after I oil it, then I will adjust the pivot pin a little bit on it, but I'm going to leave it at tight for right now. But I'm sure that there'll be no problem adjusting it so it'll flip right open. But pretty heavy duty knife. Reminds me more of a tool than it does a knife, actually. The way it's built, I mean, it's built pretty rugged. You can see that stop pin right in there as part of the triad lock system. It's supposed to transfer the negative and positive forces onto the liner. This thing does have aluminum liners in it. See the liner? That's to provide extra strength. Like I say, this knife has been totally redesigned. You know, I don't know exactly what prompted that, but I'm glad they did, because I paid about $55 for this knife, which is about as good a price as you're going to find on this knife, by the way. But makes a pretty good replacement for the Espada, if you can't afford an Espada. It's actually a pretty similar knife now that they've redesigned it, especially if you get the Vaquero style blade on it. I still would like to have an Espada, but at $52, I would have, at the 5.5 inch blade size of the Espada, I would have been looking at double the price, even for the G10 model. So, but I think this is almost as tough a knife now that they've redesigned it. Like I say, the handles are all grivery. Pretty stiff stuff, pretty hard stuff, it feels like. It's got like a cruciform pattern in it, or a cross, if you want to call it that. It is across. It's equal length on both lines going through. But it's got kind of a small paper clip for how big a knife this thing is. Actually, I've found I just prefer it to just... It'll pretty much ride in your pocket if you have a decent sized pocket. I actually like to just let it in my pocket. It's so big it fills the pocket. It's carryable though. It really is. I'm going to put specifications on this. I'll put them in the annotations. Like I said, I don't have a manual or a cold seal catalog, so and my printer's out of ink, or I'd print it off their website. But it's a pretty light knife for the size of it. It's not bad at all. Like I said, I'll put it in the annotations what the actual weight is. I'm going to guess, and I'm going to say less than 6 ounces, which is pretty dang light. It's balanced real well. It's slightly forward balanced, but because of the length of the handle and the steel in the spine, it balances pretty good. Here again, like other knives that are well balanced, if you take a knife like this and hold it slightly upward, like you would do probably, you almost and let it rest on your finger here. You can see this deep finger choil. Just let that blade rest right there, and it almost has no weight at all when you balance it like that, with the tip up slightly. Very reminiscent of that little Winchester Bowie I've got. It's a little bit cheaper knife than this, but it's really well balanced. Does the same thing when you hold it like that on your finger. It'll just about balance itself and have almost no weight at all when you do that. So anyway, I don't like my videos to go too long. That's the unboxing. I'm sure this thing will really... It's very sharp. I can tell you from feeling it with my finger. It's razor sharp. But really nice little knife. Cold steel, Voyager XL, clip point blade. Like I say, they make 3 sizes of this knife, and they make 3 different blade styles. This is the largest. This is a 5.5 inch blade. So if you went with the Espada, which is a different product line, they do have a 7 inch or 7.5 inch. They have a bigger blade on their biggest Espada. But in this model, the Voyager, you can get the Vaquero blade and also the Tanto blade. It's a pretty nice product. I would imagine they're going to sell a lot of these. Because, like I said, to get into something like this, the cheapest way you're going to get into one of these in the Espada line is going to be probably bare minimum 100, maybe a little over that, depending on where you buy it. As much as 120 for this size in the Espada. Anyway, this video's gone long enough. I'll put the specifications and annotations, so if you watch this video mobile or whatever and you don't get annotations, I suggest you watch it on a PC and a browser that you do get the annotations, so you can see the technical specifications on this knife. And I'm also going to put some of the design specifications in there too on the triad lock. This has their triad lock. I imagine this knife will support probably around 300 pounds. I know the Espada will support 600. The Espada with the micarta handle. But anyway, very nice, strong knife, man. It's quite a weapon. It really is. I mean, let's face it. You could hunt with this knife. You could also use it for skinning and processing your meat. But let's face it, I think everybody knows what the main purpose of this knife is. And it will carry in your pocket. One drawback is I don't believe this knife is legal where I live to carry. I have a concealed carry permit, but I don't know how it affects blades. I've got to call and ask whether or not I think we have a 4-inch. I don't know if my concealed carry permit will let me carry this knife too. You'd think it would if you can carry a loaded firearm. You'd think you'd be able to carry a knife of any size, but I'm not sure. So anyway, that's something to check into before you buy a knife like this. So whether or not you're going to be able to carry it anywhere, if you're going to have to leave it in your drawer. But even as a collector, it's really nice for the money. Anyway, this video is now 10 minutes long. That's long enough. Thanks for watching.